descended from the same family tree as Lancelot Link, Curious George, and the Space Monkeys of yore. A simple family rock band has dared to go where no band has gone before. In these pandemic times, we need Secret Monkey Weekend now more than ever. So without any further ado, settle into your favorite chair, call your neighbors, because it's time for the Secret Monkey Quarantine Half-Hour Show.
Hello everybody, I'm Lila Brownhart, and welcome back to another episode of the Secret Monkey Quarantine Half-Hour Show. Today we have a bunch of fun stuff for you. We have part 3 of our Don Dixon interview. We have Tim Smith doing an interview, and he might even play a song or two. And we have a song by one of our favorite North Carolina artists. We have one of my films, and also we have some new sponsors. So we really hope you enjoy the show.
Raise your right paw, your right hoof, your right tentacle, whatever you might have.
I shall sing no song that is not a Secret Monkey song. I shall make no record that is not a Secret Monkey record. I refuse to be known as anything but a Secret Monkey singer. I am proud to be associated with the Secret Monkey music. Secret Monkey music and Secret Monkey fans made me what I am today, and I shall not forget it.
Watching for a sound to lead me to wherever you go. I can't help it, I will always love you. Used to be my words could come between us anytime. Was right for secret meetings, different now. When you speak and every word means now. Every word means now. Things that never come to life. We're going through something so shallow, there's nothing to find. Used to be no words could come between us anytime. Was right for secret meetings, different now. When you speak and every word means now. Every word means now. Protecting puts me down on a shaky ground. I keep thinking, you're looking at me, do you want me around? Used to be no words could come between us anytime. Was right for secret meetings, now and then. I think if the rules have changed, you always remind me. Every word means now. Our musical guest, Tim Smith.
Hello and thank you, Secret Monkey Weekend. It's nice to be here in your hideaway. I'm going to sing you a song that I wrote about two towns in America that I like very much, because they're featured in a book called Roadside America for a strange reason. And that reason is that they both have on display very large balls of twine. And this story begins about 1953. How he got started, you can search me. He just got it in his head, that's what we're told. But soon Farmer Johnson was on a roll. And why, oh why, would you spend your time rolling away on your ball of twine? Why can't none of you all see? It might be meaningless, but it's me. Can you imagine how much work to do to get from 2'8" to 8'2"? Hour after hour and day after day. For 25 years he was rolling away. And why, oh why would you spend your time rolling away on your ball of twine? Why can't none of you all see? It might be meaningless, but it's me. He did it by himself, clear to the end. And I weighed 9 tons and stretched 11'10". And now it sits in that gazebo uptown. It's a monument to what you can't put down. And why, oh why would you spend your time rolling away on your ball of twine? Why can't none of you all see? It might be meaningless, but it's me. That kind of seems like it, doesn't it? Wraps up the story. Except for the part where the song goes into overtime. Because a man in Kansas heard about his quest. And this man set about to make his own spheroid the best. But tragedy struck in 1974 when that Kansas man died. He was 1 foot short. But raise your glass, I want to drink to the guy who rolled the world's second biggest ball of twine. Why, oh, why would you spend your time? Thank you, Secret Monkeys.
So welcome to week 2 with the Secret Monkey. Excuse me. Cover yourself, girl.
You okay there?
We're going to quarantine Lila. Are you done? Okay. So welcome to episode 2. Our guest is Tim Smith.
It's really nice to be here, Secret Monkey Weekend.
Tim, you've been
Hi.
described as a raconteur. Am I correct in saying that?
You know, I haven't really taken a tour of racks. I have to say, you know, maybe you guys have taken a tour of racks, but I don't ever remember doing that.
Oh well, I'll take your word for it. So tell me about the song that you just played.
That song is called the Twine Ballad, and you got to be careful not to leave an extra space and call it Twine Ball Ad, because it's not a Twine Ball Ad, it's a Twine Ballad. And I got the idea from a book that I've had since the 80s. When I worked in San Francisco, I used to walk down to a bookstore called A Clean, Well-Lighted Place for Books. And they had these books sitting on a table that were like just kind of oddball things to look at. And there was this book, Roadside America, which was, you know, you can still go to a website for Roadside America.
Right, I've heard of that.
But the original version of that book has all these weird American tourist things. Like one of the 7 wonders of the United States, as they consider it, is south of the border, you know, in Dillon, South Carolina, you know. So that's the kind of stuff they like. And
well, you know, like the Shell station in Winston-Salem, that kind of thing.
oh, what's that? I've never been there.
It's a 1930s era filling station that's shaped like a shell, and it's, you know.
Oh yeah,
you've seen that, right?
yes, yeah. I have not seen that, but I'd love to,
Yeah,
because that's perfect. That's perfect kind of thing I love.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you another question that I've been meaning to ask. What do you consider your leading influences, or what are the mix of your influences? And keep in mind, this is only a 5-minute show. 5-minute segment.
Well, I'm an old folky at heart. You know, I'm really a folk music kind of person first, and play a lot of Irish music, and you know, that's what I've been playing the longest. You know, in contra dance music, I've been playing that a long time. But you know, I love country music too, and I really love the piano playing of people like Floyd Cramer and Pete Robbins.
Okay.
You know, I'd say those are pretty big influences too.
It occurred to me that, and you reminded me of this, that you and Lance White composed a song about 3 years ago at this unusual show that was a tribute to this really nutty guy.
Well, there was this guy, I think Rebecca Newton had the idea for that, because there was this guy who put on all these tribute shows, like tribute to George Harrison and tribute to Graham Parsons. Who was that guy? Anybody know who that guy was? I can't. Wait a minute. I know who it was. It was Jefferson Hart. He put on all these tributes, and Rebecca Newton had this idea that, why don't we have a tribute to the tribute guy? We'll do all his songs. And so I got to tell you a story about that. You know, so in that show, I did the song "Half Moons," which you guys still do. I love that song. And I get up there and I'm saying, how cool is this? Or I'm in my 60s. For one of the first times in my life, I'm fronting a rock and roll band. Look at me. And so I got done with that song "Half Moons." I get off the stage, and a guy you worked with at EPA, he's a real nice guy, comes up to me and says, "Boy, I love that Joe Cocker thing you were doing." I said, "Oh, is that how I looked? I look like Joe Cocker."
We might,
but
maybe we can air a few seconds of that on the show. I have the master.
but Lance and I wrote a song that was different, that we did separate from my doing Half Moons, and it was we wrote a song called Happy Jefferson.
Yeah. Girls, you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
We were laughing so hard. Yeah. So
Happy Jefferson is a broken heart, HART.
Yeah. And then at the end there was like this Happy Jack kind of thing where you were
Lance and I had different ideas on how it should end, and so Lance did on that video. You can see it. Lance did his ending, but my idea was to have the ending be Happy Jack or Happy Jack.
Yeah.
Happy Jeff was bereft, but he soon discovered. La 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 la.
Yeah. Well, girls, I know you've been saving up your questions. Why don't Ella go first, and then Lila, you ask a question.
Out of all the places you've lived in your life, which do you think was the most musically inspiring?
Oh, that's a good. It has to. Honestly, it's here. It's either here or Washington D.C. I lived in the Washington D.C. area, and that's where I first heard Irish bands like the Bothy Band and Planxty, which are like huge in my musical influences. But when I moved back here in 1990, I met a whole bunch of folks and just got interested in a lot of things. So I'd have to say here.
Good to hear.
Especially since 2013.
Yeah. Well, I just realized
when this really nice guy invited me to play in a band for a Graham Parsons tribute.
Right. Oh, I just realized Lila didn't ask the question. Come on, baby. What you got?
My question is, it's kind of a simple, basic one, but what's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, we've got cats at our house, and we've got the only animal that I ever named, which is our black kitty that I named B Flat.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so we've got so I'd have to say that kitty cats are my favorite animals. Thanks for asking that.
Well, we will keep that in mind for your future visits. All right, everybody. Say goodbye to Tim. We love this guy so much.
Bye. Love you guys too.
Bye.
And now a word from our sponsors.
Myers-Briggs, we'll have Myers-Briggs. INTJ, hey, Myers-Briggs.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Myers-Briggs, we're happy as pigs. INTJ, hey, Myers-Briggs. Yeah. Let's do it one more time.
Up next, a short film by Lila. Hey monkeys, it's Secret Monkey Weekend here, and welcome back to Viewer Mail. Okay, so we have a few questions here today. Our first question is, who's our favorite Beatle? How about you start us, Jeff?
You looking at me?
Yeah.
George, without a doubt. He just seemed like the one I'd like to hang out with most. I think Paul would be actually kind of fun because he seems cheerful, but I think George seemed the most interesting.
I'd say Paul's my favorite. He's been a huge musical inspiration to me even before I started playing bass, but especially when I did. So, him definitely.
My favorite Beatle is probably I have to agree with Jeff that my favorite Beatle is George. Very cool.
Okay, all things must pass. Got more? How many questions do you have today?
We have 4 questions, and that was one of them.
Right.
We have another question. Sugar in your grits. Ella, how about you start us off with that one?
Like, do you mean, is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea?
Yeah.
I have no opinion, honestly.
I've never tried it, but I'm willing to try it. But I just, I like the grits the way I have it: pepper, salt, butter. Next question. Next.
Okay. Our next question is, what was the most memorable gig you had?
You looking at me?
Yeah.
Gosh, so many. I still think to this day, New Year's Eve, 1987, going into 88, with the Hanks at the brewery opening for the Woods. It was just a massive crowd, lots of people there. And then the next time we play, we had a following immediately. And I don't think anything like that has happened with me since. I mean, I've played some really huge shows after this, and with some of the people I really admire and looked up to, but that was just a chill bump moment. All right, one more question. We're kind of running short on time.
Our last question is, favorite Rolling Stones song?
For the purposes of the show, obviously, I would say Monkey Man. But, I don't know. I really like Tumbling Dice, and I really like Happy.
My favorite is probably Sympathy for the Devil.
Wow.
I'd have to agree. I really love that song. And my other less popular pick is I really love their cover of Time Is On My Side.
That's really good, too.
Sympathy for the Devil, that's interesting because, your mother and grandfather are historians, and that actually sort of tells a world history story.
Yeah, I love that part. And it's also the most fun song to play of the Stones songs we do.
I like the Get Your Yah-Yahs Out version the best with Mick Taylor's lead guitar.
Agree.
Well, it looks like that's about all the time we have for viewer mail.
Mm-hmm.
Are they clapping because we're leaving? I don't know.
Probably.
Okay. Well, we got a lot more show left, and let's just keep rolling. Thanks, y'all.
Up next, I Want My Daddy's Records.
So here we are again, another week, another episode of I Want My Daddy's Records. Going to start right off the bat. Girls?
That's yours.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a Christmas present last year. Here, take it. All right?
Yours.
Yeah,
That's
definitely
right.
yours.
Kate
That
Bush.
Mom's.
Yeah, I just, I'm sure she's great. I think I saw her on Saturday Night Live in the late 70s, but I just don't own any Kate Bush.
I don't know.
I have no clue.
This is mine. I bought this when it came out. You know what this is.
No.
Feed the world.
Oh, that?
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's Christmas time.
That's yours.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was mine. This, I have no idea. Although there's a name up here.
Looks like Sue?
I still can't make that out. Oh, it says Scratched. Anyway, Bobby Hackett and his jazz band. I bet this is a riot. I swear to God, I don't know who this is, but I love these types of old covers. Now, girls, what about this?
That's Dad's. I remember that.
Okay, well, I haven't heard it, but I got to say, I would totally love to hear this. Do you even know what this is, girls?
Bob Dylan.
Bob Dylan.
Do you know the name?
No clue.
Blonde on Blonde. It's I guess it folds out. I know it does. Yeah.
Oh.
It'd make a great poster in the 60s if you were in college and then have a dorm back when people would poster their walls.
It still would be a good poster.
Yeah. All right, how about this?
Yours?
It is mine, but it belonged to my grandmother, and I have no idea how I got this, but I would love to put this on. Anytime I would see a plump man with a beard, I would automatically think Al Hurt when I was a kid. And he's from New Orleans.
Oh, this is very much yours.
Yeah, Fabulous Knobs. I bought this when it came out. Let's see. This is their first one, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
Super great cowboy band.
I feel like I remember Daddy having that one.
Yeah, I was aware of them. I think even the pedal steel guy played on some Rosewood Bluff
or $2 Pistols. I can't remember. Clyde Maddox. But yeah, it's not mine, but I remember them playing.
Once again, yours.
Yep.
I think every.
Actually, okay, that was the second. No, this is the first Dom's album. Okay, I was confused. So yeah, this was on Dolphin Records. No, Moonlight Records. Yep. Fabulous Knobs. All right.
Bob.
It could go either way. It could either be
Yeah.
Dad's or.
It's not mine. I mean, I probably would have liked to have had this when it came out. But
Nutbush City Limits! Yes! We love that song.
Where'd you hear it? On Glee? I bet you know some of these songs anyway. All right, so this.
That's Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I think it's yours.
It's not. I never owned this on vinyl. It was one of those things that I had on cassette. So I'm pretty sure it's Matt's. Do you know the name of this album?
Led Zeppelin 4.
Right. This, I'm pretty sure this is another record that was given to me by Peter Holzapfel. And it's quite wonderful. Of course, Peter's a generous guy. We were all at a house concert at Barry Reagan's house. So, yeah. So, anyway, Matthew's Southern Comfort. He was the guy who sang the original hit of Woodstock, even before Crosby, Stills, and Nash did it, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Well, another week of I Want My Daddy's Records. Thanks for your help, girls.
You're welcome. Of course.
You know, when you were mentioning people that you produced, for some reason I remember, maybe I'm just misremembering, but did you and T-Bone Burnett either collaborate on a project together, or did you produce him?
I never produced T-Bone, but he and I both produced a guy named Tommy Keene.
Oh, okay.
Who was his first sort of real record. He was a DC kid, and he had gotten signed to that record bar label that run by
Dolphin
and Josh Greer.
Yeah,
it's called Dolphin, and Josh asked me if I would be willing to work with T-Bone on this stuff, and I said sure, because T-Bone at the time had done a couple things I really liked, and I think he was working on a Los Lobos record called "How Will the Wolves Survive" around the time we did the Tommy Keene stuff. But Tommy got signed by Geffen before the official kind of record that T-Bone and I made came out. Some things kind of trickled out over the years, EPs. And
So that was the Places That Are Gone era for him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one of the songs we did, actually.
Gotcha. Oh, impressive. Ella?
Yeah, I had another producing question. So I've heard that you were in talks to be one of the producers on Nirvana's breakthrough album, Nevermind. Is that true?
Correct. It's kind of a complicated setup, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. The guy who had signed them to Geffen was named Gary Gersh, and he had been, I didn't really know him, we weren't friends, but he had been kind of following me for, at that point, years and years, and I had that was well after we had success with REM and the Smithereens and all those bands. Plus, I had already met Butch Vig, the guy who made the demos that had been sent to me by Gary Gersh to see if I was interested in them. And I loved the demos. And Butch had been in a band called Firetown, and they had talked to me about producing them when they were signed to Atlantic. So I already knew who Butch was. We weren't friends, but I'd met him and we had talked. So I flew out to Seattle and spent a couple of days with the band. I really liked them, and I thought it was great. And they had just finished. I think some of the songs on the demo were like Lithium. I mean, there were like 4 songs that all ended up on the record on the demo they sent me. But Smells Like Teen Spirit, when I was out there, still didn't have words or anything, but they had the song. They played the song and sort of mumbled some stuff. But so they said, yeah, okay, that's great. So we planned to make a record, but I think we asked for way too much money, and they were smart enough to not pay me all that money I asked for.
Oh.
So, and just used Butch, which worked out great. And Butch really is brilliant and has made great records. He created that band Garbage, which you may be familiar with after that. And so, you know, he was a really interesting, good guy, and he was going to work on the record with me anyway. I'd liked the way he sounded. The band loved him. We were going to record it at Reflection. We had time booked and everything, but they just decided they didn't want to give me all that money, and I never blamed them for it. I thought they were right. You know, it was kind of one of those things where I don't think we weren't being greedy. We were just sort of asking for regular major label stuff that we had been doing, but they were smart enough to want to hang on to some of it, I think.
Well, that about wraps up our episode for this week, but we want to thank you for tuning in, and if you enjoyed it, please share it with your friends on Facebook and YouTube, and also give us a follow there, like on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, if you haven't already. So next week we're going to have some more North Carolina artists, and also some more Secret Monkey songs, so tune in next week.